Welcome to the Braille Academy, and in this lesson we are going to look at the simple upper word signs or alphabetic word signs. Okay, that is in section 2. Remember, in our previous lesson we looked at the letters of alphabet from A up to Z in Braille, and we came up with some few examples whereby we were able to write simple words in simple sentences, and I hope it was very nice. Now, in this section we are going to use those letters of alphabet. Okay, and we are going to use those letters to come up with abbreviation whereby one letter represents a whole word, and that's why we call them alphabetic word signs. We are going to use those letters of alphabet to come up with word signs. Remember, a word sign is a contraction which represents a complete word or a whole word. Okay, when you read the rules of unified English Braille, they are called alphabetic word signs, okay? Or you can call them simple upper word signs. All right? We are going to look at that, whereby we are going to use the letters of alphabet, okay? Then we come up with word that are abbreviated using those letters of alphabet. Now, if you can read here, you will get that we have 3 words, simple upper word signs. I'm going to explain each and every word and what it means, okay? But before that, let us write something very important that we looked at when we started looking at the letters of alphabet, and that's what we call a Braille cell. Remember, a Braille cell, I said it has got 6 dots, whereby I used these lines, okay? And remember, these lines are not part of Braille, okay? I'm just putting them as a beginner so that you know that this dot correspond with this one correspond with this one, and this one correspond with this one. Unlike, for example, if you write without putting those lines, you might arrange these dots whereby you cannot know which dot is where, okay? So this line help us to locate which dot correspond which one, okay? Whereby we said the first dot is called dot 1, dot 2, dot 3, dot 4, dot 5, and dot 6, okay? This is what we call a Braille cell, and we looked at when we started looking at the letters of alphabet, isn't it? And we said this is where Braille is written on, okay? Now, let me explain these 3 words here, simple upper word signs. Now, we are going to look at the letters of alphabet A up to Z, whereby each letter represents a whole word, okay? Whereby each letter takes 1 Braille cell. I repeat, I'm saying letters of alphabet, each letter take 1 Braille cell, okay? Takes 1 Braille cell. For example, letter A, we said is written like this. So this is 1 Braille cell, whereby this letter A takes 1 Braille cell. Letter B, for instance, takes 1 Braille cell. So each letter takes 1 Braille cell. Now, we are calling them simple because they take 1 Braille cell. All letters of alphabet from A up to Z, they take 1 Braille cell, and that's why we call them simple, okay? We call them simple. They just take 1 Braille cell, as in these examples, A and B, okay? Even up to Z, they take 1 Braille cell. Now, we call them upper. So I want you to listen me very carefully. Listen to me very carefully. Braille has got 6 dots, okay? A Braille cell. This cell is divided into 2. We have upper part, okay? Upper part and lower part, okay? Whereby upper part is made up of dot 1 and dot 4, all right? And lower part is made up of dot 3 and dot 6. Kindly listen to me. I'm saying a Braille cell is divided into 2, whereby we have upper part, okay, and lower part. Upper part consists of dot 1 and dot 4. The dots that are an upper part, it's dot 1 and dot 4. But dots that are in the lower part, it is 3 and 6. Dot 2 and dot 5, they are neutral. They are neither upper nor lower. They are neutral, okay? Now, we call them upper because they have dot in upper part, and that's why we call them upper. Okay? Why? Because they have a dot in either dot 1 and dot 4 or both. Okay? We call them upper because they have a dot in upper part, either dot 1 or dot 4 or both. Now, what does that mean? For example, let me come with the letter C. Okay? That's letter C, isn't it? We looked at in the letters of alphabet. Then let me come with the letter B. Okay? Letter B is written like this. Okay? So, sorry, this is letter L. Okay? Letter L. Now, this is letter L. Right? You can see that this letter C has got dot 1 and dot 4. Okay? That's why we call it both. It has got 2 or dot 1 and dot 4, both upper dots. Okay? Then L has got only dot 1. Remember this is dot 1, dot 2, dot 3. It has got dot 1 only. Okay? And another letter like J, okay, it has got dot 4 in upper part. Okay? Whereby this is dot 2, dot 4, dot 5. So it has got a dot in upper part, which is dot 4. But L has got dot 1. But letter C, okay, letter C has got dot 1 and dot 4. So hereby we say these letters of alphabet, they are upper because they have a dot in upper part. All letters of alphabet from A up to Z, they have a dot in upper part. Either dot 1 like in L, either dot 4 like in J, or both dot 1 and dot 4 like in letter C. Again, even in letter F, okay? You say F is written like that. You can see letter F has got 2 dots, okay? In upper part. So this one is an upper sign. So we say they are upper because they have a dot in upper part. Either dot 1 or dot 4 or both. And why do we say both? Because we have some letters like C, like F, like G. They have dot 1 and dot 4, and that's why we say both, and that is why we call them upper. Now, word sign. What is a word sign, or why do we call them word signs? Because these letters of alphabet which take one braille cell and they have a dot in upper part, they are used to represent a whole word. Let me repeat. I'm saying this. We are calling them simple because they take one braille cell. We are calling them upper because they have a dot in upper part, whereby we said upper part is dot 1 and dot 4 or both, and they are called word sign because they are used to represent a whole word. I think up to there it's clear. Now it is here, it is explained here. We can read very fast. What are simple upper word signs? It is a question. Okay, now the answer is here. Simple. Why? This means they take up one braille cell, as I have explained here. Okay, they take one braille cell. And remember, teachers or viewers, this line here is not part of braille. Okay, I am using this line so that you can locate which dot correspond with which dot. Otherwise, if you don't put this line, you might arrange these dots in a confusing way. Okay, therefore this line helps us to locate the position of dots. All right, as a beginner. Now we are saying we call them simple because this means they take up one braille cell. Upper, this means they have a dot in upper part of a braille, i.e. dot 1 or dot 4 or both word signs. This means they represent a whole word. That is it. Now let us write those letters of alphabet from A up to Z and then see what word signs do each and every letter represent. But remember, not all letters of alphabet has got a word sign. For example, letter A, letter I, okay, and letter A and letter I, they don't have a word signs. We have another letter that doesn't have a word sign. We're going to look at it. Okay, now let us write those letters of alphabet together and then see which word signs or what word sign does each letter represent. Now they are here. I've written them, the letters of alphabet from A up to Z. Remember, we looked at them in the previous lesson, so I have written them. And remember, in today's lesson, we are looking at the simple upper word sign. And I've said we are calling them simple because each letter of alphabet, as you can see here, takes only one Braille cell. They are upper because each and every letter of alphabet from A up to Z, they have a dot in upper part, whereby I said upper part, whereby Braille is divided into two, upper part and lower part. Upper part is dot 1 and dot 4, lower part is dot 3 and dot 6. Now, under lower, we are going to look at when we get to lower signs. But now, today, we are looking at upper. So, we have upper and we have lower. So, all letters of alphabet, they have a dot in upper part. Okay? Whereby, some letters has got both dots. Okay? Some letter has got dot 1. Some letters has got dot 4. For example, letter J. You can see letter J has got dot 4. Okay? Letter C has both. Letter D has both also. Letter E has got dot 1. So all of them, they have a dot in upper part. They have a dot in upper part. They have a dot in upper. Now, as we're saying, each and every letter of alphabet from A up to Z has got dot 1 or dot 4 or both. Now, when you read the Unified English Braille, you realize that these simple upper word signs are called the alphabetic word signs, okay? But they're just same things. Now, A is written like this, okay? It does not have any word sign. It represents A, okay? B represent but. C can. D do. Okay? E every. Then F from. G it's go. And then H it is have. Okay? So H is have. Then when you come to I, it remains I. Okay? Remember I told you that there are some letters of alphabet that they don't have the word signs, okay? They just remain like that. So J it is just, okay? K knowledge, okay? Knowledge like that. Then when it come to L it is like, and then M it's more, N not, okay? And then when you come to O, it remains O. So letter O does not have a word sign, letter I does not have, letter A does not have. So there are three of them. Then P represent people, Q is quite, and then R is rather. Then we have S so, T that, and U it is as, okay? As, and then V very, W will, okay? Then we have X it, Y U, Z as. Right. Now this is what we call word sign or simple upper word signs. So these letters of alphabet, they represent these words, okay? Whereby when they are standalone, okay? When they are standalone, they represent these words. Now, what does it mean by saying standalone? That means these letters or these words must read as they are for them to be abbreviated by these letters. My goodness, I'm saying this. For you to use these simple upper word signs, they must read as they are, right? For them to be used as, for you to use this abbreviation to represent them, okay? That means if you get any word, for example, the word people, I'm saying this. If you want to write the word people, do not write P-E-O-P-L-E. No. Just write letter P to represent people. But these people must be standalone or not added to any letter. They must be preceded and followed by a space or a punctuation, right? You know, a letter is considered standalone when it is preceded and followed by a space. What does it mean by preceded and followed? For example, come here, come here, come here. Now here means come here. This is a space, you. Okay, this is a space. Now you can see here, come here, you. Okay, this is my word. It doesn't need to be very correct. Okay, correct grammatically. I'm just coming up with an example. So you can see that this is a space and this is a space. That's what we say preceding and followed. Okay, so it must be standalone. For example, let me come up with an example. Now, an example like you can have it. Okay, let's assume we have a full stop there. Okay, now when writing in Braille, you don't write letter W, letter O, and letter U. No, you contract it, or whereby we said U, it is Y standalone, can is C standalone, have, it is H standalone, and then it, we said it is X standalone. Full stop, it is just a lower D. We will look at it when you come to punctuations. Now, what I'm saying is, this abbreviation or these word signs, they are used when these words are like this. For example, you, it is here, Y to represent you, C, can, H, have, X, it. And they must be standalone, whereby they must be space, they must be preceded by a space and followed by. So you can see now here we have a space, preceded and followed. Okay, so space in this side and a space in this side. So that's what we are supposed to do. So these are called the simple upper word signs from A up to Z, and we have seen that letter A, letter I, and letter O, they do not have any word sign to represent. They just remain the way they are. Okay, and this is what we call simple upper word signs, and we know what does it mean by simple upper and word sign. Now, from now going on, we are not going, for example, when you get the word but, we will not be writing B-U-T. No, we will be writing letter B standalone or letter B alone to represent this word. Letter C, for example, if we meet a word like can, we will not be writing letter C, letter A, and letter N. No, 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 no. We will be writing letter C to represent can. So continue doing practice so that you master these simple upper word signs. Now, let me come up with some examples whereby we are going to write together and see how we apply these simple upper word signs when it comes to sentence. Okay, now here are the examples. Let us do together these examples and see what we are supposed to do when these simple upper word signs happen to be in a sentence. Okay, the first example, you can have it as you like it. Now, when writing in Braille, here we'll just write Y, okay, letter Y to denote you. Then can, you write C, okay. Have, it's H, okay. It, I said, is X, okay. As, I said, it is Z. Z is written like that. Then you, again, I said it is Y. And then like, it's L. And then we have it, okay. So it is X. And then we have a full stop. A full stop is here, okay. It's a lower D. We'll come to look at it when we reach to punctuation, right? Okay, don't worry about that. So these are full stop, right? These are full stop. Now, do not go home. The second example. Do not go home. Okay. Now here, do, we said it is D. Okay. This D represents the whole of this word do. Okay. It's what we call now a word sign. A word sign is a sign that is used to represent a whole word. Okay. Whereby this letter represents the whole word D. Right. Not, it is N like that. Okay. Go, it is G, stand alone like that. Then home. Now here, home, there is no contraction that represents the word home. So in the word home, we are going to spell out. And what does it mean by spelling out? This means you write the letters of alphabet the way they are. That is what we call spell out or spelling out. Okay. So here you write letter H, right? Then O, and then you write M, okay? And then you write E. And again, we have a full stop here. So here you put a full stop, okay? You put a full stop. This is a full stop. It's a lower D, right? It's a lower D. We will come to it. Then people, the third now example, people can have it. Remember, we are looking at simple upper word signs, okay? And therefore, we want to see how do we apply them when it comes to sentences. People can have it. So people, I told you it's P. The letter P alone stands for people. Can, it is C, stand for can or denote can. Have, it is H, stand alone. Then it is X, like that, to denote it. All right. Now, the last example according to this list, it is I will go home very soon. Now, let us write together. I, then will, I told you, is W. Then go, it is G, symbol as that. Home. Now, the word home, there is no contraction that we can use here, okay? So that means we are going to spell out each and every letter. So we are going to write H, okay? O, right? And then we write M, symbol as that. Then E. So this is the word home, okay? Very soon. Very, I said you just write V, standalone, to denote very. Then soon, you do what? You write the way it is. You spell out because there's no contraction or a word sign to represent the word soon, okay? So you spell out. So you write S, okay? And then you write O, and then you write O again, okay? A symbol as that. And then you write N. I told you N is D plus dot 3. And then there is a full stop. You put your full stop. And I said a full stop is a punctuation and it's a lower D. And we are going to look at it when we get to punctuation. Thank you. Now, these are just a few examples to see or to help us understand how we can help or how these simple upward signs are applied when it comes to sentences. And we have seen you have to give spaces, all right? So, for example, do not go. So, all of these are word signs, isn't it? They are used when they are spaces. You must space them. They must be preceded and followed by a space, okay? And they must not be used when some letters are added to them. For example, let me come up with some examples whereby we don't use these word signs. Remember, these word signs are used when they are a whole word. For example, the word go. Let me come up with an example like goes, okay? You can see we said go, it is just alone, stand for go. And we have a word goes here, okay? So do not make a mistake of contracting go because we said go is G and then you spell out ES. And for example, you do like this. You say this is G, okay? And then this is now go and then you write your E and then your S, okay? You see now. You see now this is go, this is E, and this is S. This is very wrong, okay? When you get a word like this, whereby these words are added, some letters are added to them, you spell out. So in this case, you write letter G, letter O, letter E, and letter S. Why? Because these two letters are added to the word go. So here, you don't contract, okay? They are contracted when they are used to represent a whole word or a complete word as they are, okay? Again, these letters, you cannot use plural. You cannot add S to make their plural. For example, let's assume the word will. Will, okay? Will, there's S, for example, wills, okay? Maybe it can be a name of a person, it's wills. Do not make a mistake of writing W to denote will, and then you write S, okay? And then you say this is will, and this is S. This is wrong, okay? Because we said in the rule that these simple upper word signs, okay, or alphabetic contraction, they must read as they are for them to be contracted. Otherwise, if there is any other sign added to them, you spell them out. I think it's clear to that. Again, what you need to know is that these simple upper word signs, they are used to represent a proper names. For example, John will. Let's assume this is a name of a person, okay? John will. So you are going to contract this will, okay? Whereby you write the word John, you spell out, and then the word will you contract, right? Again, what you need to know, teachers, is that you can use these word signs. Okay, you can use these word signs or contractions to represent the words that they stand for, regardless of the part of speech involved. Okay, so you can use them. And again, before I forget, these word signs that we have looked at, simple upper word signs, you cannot use it when you in acronyms. In acronyms, for example, US and IT. Okay. For example, let me come with an example. I will go to US. Okay, US. Let's assume this US. Okay. So here, do not make a mistake of writing like this. I will, okay, go, okay, to sorry, to like that, to US. Then you write US as this because we said U stand for us. Okay, so remember, this is an acronym. These letters are pronounced separately. US, but now this one is us. So this is a word, but this one is an acronym. These are two things differently. Okay, so do not make a mistake of using this contraction or these simple upward signs in acronyms, whereby these letters are pronounced differently. Again, for example, IT. This means information technology, something like that. Okay, do not use X to denote IT. Okay, this is it. You know, there's a difference between IT and it, because it is a word. This one is an acronym whereby each and every letter, I and T, are pronounced differently. So do not use them. Okay, in this case, we will come to see how do we write this one when it comes to Braille. Therefore, we will introduce what we call a letter sign, and therefore you will not be confusing between IT and it, because we will introduce something called letter sign. Okay, we will come to that when we get there. Again, teachers, what you need to know is that, let us look at those word signs, and then I explain something, and then you'll be able to understand. Okay, now here are the simple upward signs. Teachers, what you need to know is that letter A, okay, and letter I and letter O, they don't have a simple upward signs, or they don't have a word sign, because they are single letter words, okay, to themselves, and therefore they cannot be used to contract for other word, right? That's why they don't have a word or an upper word. Again, it, apart from it and us, these two words, all other words are represented by the initial letters, okay, by their initial letters. What does that mean? I am saying this. For example, B is represented, you can see the word but. The word sign is but, whereby initial letter is B, C, initial letter is C for can, D, do, E, every. There is an initial letter, whereby this letter, it must be here, okay? J, just, all of them apart from it and Z. Apart from it and Z. So I think it's clear up to there. Make sure that you continue doing practice, and if there is any question, just ask, and then I will help you out. For example, if remember I said that these word signs can be used to denote proper names. So for example, the word John Moore, let's assume this is a name of a person. So here you come and you contract Moore, okay? But if there is S, you don't contract, because we said this contraction, they are used when they read like a whole word. Again, lastly, for example, you have a word like it is, okay? So here, because it's a punctuation, this one is a punctuation, this one an apostrophe, okay? Let me write somewhere, and then you'll be able to understand. Let me write somewhere. Now, let's consider these words here, and then we finalize the lesson. So the word is its. You can see we have an apostrophe here. What you need to know, teachers, is that these simple upper word signs, they can be used when it comes to punctuation. You can adjoin them with the punctuation, okay? You know, a word, a letter, remember we said these simple upper word signs, simple upper word signs are used provided that they're standalone. And meaning standalone means that letter can be adjoined with the a hyphen, a comma, apostrophe, okay, or a dash, a double dash. These are considered, when they meet or when they contain this punctuation, it is considered as a standalone, okay? A letter is considered as a standalone when it has good spaces or punctuation, okay? So that means if you get punctuation like this one apostrophe and it's a punctuation, now therefore you will contract it, okay? Whereby you come here and say X to denote it, and then this one is a punctuation, it's a dot 3. Remember, an apostrophe is written as a dot 3, and then you write S. So this is it is, okay? It's very correct. It's very correct, okay? We will come to get it well when we reach to punctuation, and then you will understand it. Now the next example is the word can't. Can't, okay? So here you can contract can because apostrophe is not a letter, and therefore you contract it. You don't contract these simple upward signs when they are joined with the letters, and therefore this one is not a letter, it's a punctuation. So you contract can't, whereby it's C standalone, and then you put this apostrophe, which is a dot 3, and then you put T like that, and then the word is can't, okay? Can't. Then this one and this one is the same. Let us come to can't. Now here we don't have apostrophe like here, okay? So here you don't contract because this can is adjoined to this T and there's no apostrophe. So in this case, you write the way it is. Let us assume there's a word like this, okay? So for the purpose of example and for you to understand the different and many other words that you'll meet, so do not contract if there is no punctuation between these two words, this word and this letter, okay? If there is a punctuation like in this case, here you contract. Let us come to this. Now this is it. Now here, this one is different, okay? If you write like this, for example, like this one will be considered as a short form, okay? Remember, even Braille we have short forms, and we will understand when you get there. We will come to look at short forms, okay? Short forms. Remember, all this contraction we are doing so that to help to reduce time when typing using Braille machine. Otherwise, writing the word as the way it is by using each and every letters of alphabet, it will be very, very, very tiresome to persons or people who are visually impaired, okay? It's very, very hard, and therefore that's why we have these short forms and contractions. So we'll get there. So here, if you write like this and there's no an apostrophe here, then you do like this. It is still okay, but now this one will be considered as a short form of this word, okay? We will look at the short forms of words. So thank you very much. That's the end of the lesson. Make sure that you subscribe and continue doing practice. Be blessed.